Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabha. Hello everyone. So a lot of people are still worried about what happens if I die during my sleep, or if I die in accidents, or if I die when I'm unconscious and I can't speak, etc. How can we be mindful of Amitabha Buddha at the time of death to ensure our rebirth? Okay, so hopefully this video can help clear all these worries and doubts. So in the Amitabha Sutra, there are two translated versions of the Amitabha Sutra. The first one was translated by the Tripitaka master Kumrajiva. So he translated the meaning of the Amitabha Sutra from Sanskrit into the Chinese, but not word by word, but just the meaning, because he wanted to accustom the language to the Chinese audience. And this one is the most popular version. And another one that was translated by Master Xuanzang. Master Xuanzang was also a Tripitaka master, and he translated literally word by word from the Sanskrit into the Chinese. And this version states clearly, at the time of death, Amitabha Buddha will help us with his compassion and blessings. He will help us and keep our mind undisturbed, undistracted. So we'll be mindful of him, provided that we have pure faith. We have the faith and vow towards being reborn in his pure land, and also our practice, our Namfo. Also, Shariputra, if there are good men or women with pure faith who hear the name of Amitabha Buddha, the immeasurable, inconceivable merit of his name, and the majestic merit of the world of ultimate bliss, and have thought about it for 1 day and night, or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, or 6, or 7, continuously recite without distractions. When that good man or woman is about to die, Amitabha Buddha and his countless disciples of Shavakas and Bodhisattvas will surround him and stay in front of him. They will be compassionate and bless him so that his mind will not be disturbed. Having given up his life and joined the assembly of the Buddha, he will be reborn in Amitabha's pure Buddha land of ultimate bliss. So as we can see clearly from the sutra, that if you really have pure faith, which means that you do not have any doubt, your faith is sincere, it is real. You have the sincere faith and vow towards being reborn in the Pure Land, and also you practice Namfo continuously. 1 day or 7 days, Monday to Sunday. So you keep this consistently. Then at the time of your death, you don't have to worry about the what-if situations, because Amitabha Buddha will help you to be mindful of him, to assure your rebirth. Remember, the Pure Land Dharma Gate is the two-power method, or sometimes people call it the other power Dharma Gate. In Chinese Pure Land Buddhism, we call it the two-power Dharma Gate, just to avoid any kind of extreme interpretation. So we have to first generate faith and vow and Namfo, that is the self-power. But most importantly, we rely on the power of Amitabha Buddha to deliver us to the Pure Land. We rely on the power and vows of Amitabha Buddha. So that is the other power. So don't worry, Amitabha Buddha will help us at the time of death to be mindful of him. If you really have this pure faith, the deep faith and vow towards being reborn in his Pure Land, and you also practice Namfo in your daily life, consistently, from now on to the end of your life, to keep your faith and vow firm and deep. So you will not change. Today you want to go to the Pure Land, and tomorrow you don't want to go to the Pure Land. So this is not what I call sincere heart. The sincere heart has to be, you won't change right? Your faith and vow is steady and firm, and also your practice is consistent. You don't need to worry. Right? Amitabha Buddha will definitely help you to attain rebirth in the Pure Land. It states clearly in the sutra, so there is really no need to worry about anything. If you die during your sleep, if you have faith vow and also you nianfo during your life, Amitabha Buddha will make sure that you will be mindful of him. You will see him in your dream. So don't think that you don't think of anything when you are asleep, right? We think a lot when we are asleep. You will be able to see Amitabha Buddha in your dream and you can attain rebirth with him. If you die during accidents, maybe the first few thoughts you may be taken by horror, but due to your deep faith and vow and your habit of nianfo, Amitabha Buddha will help you to be mindful of him and to make your mind calm and undistracted so you can attain rebirth with him in the Pure Land. If you can't speak at the time of your death, don't worry. We say to recite doesn't mean that you only need to recite with your mouth. And most importantly, you're mindful of him. You can think of him in your mind. Amitabha Buddha will help you to remember him. So remember, this is not just like a self-power method. This is the true power method. So we say the true power method to avoid any kind of extreme interpretation. So people think, oh, I just rely on Amitabha Buddha. I don't need to do anything. You still need to generate this deep faith and vow to believe in Amitabha Buddha and also believe in yourself. And you still need to practice nianfo. So that's why we encourage daily practice, consistent practice of nianfo throughout our life to ensure a smooth rebirth. Most importantly, I trust in Amitabha Buddha's great compassion and great vow and great power. He will definitely help us to be mindful of him at the time of death, provided that we have deep faith, vow, and nianfo. So the three provisions that will guarantee us to attain rebirth in the Pure Land. And don't wait till the time of your death to only recite 10 recitations, right? Although when someone who is at the time of death, if they recite 10 recitations, they have faith and vow, they can still attain rebirth in the Pure Land. But this is the scenario for people, maybe they have never heard of the Pure Land Dharma before, and at the time of death, they happen to encounter someone who tell them about this Pure Land Dharma, and they generate faith and vow immediately and nianfo for 10 recitations, and they go to the Pure Land. But this is still rare. This is not a coincidence. This is the maturity of the good karma for this person. But for us, if we encounter the Pure Land Dharma now, we should start to practice. I should start to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha now and keep our practice consistent until the end of our life. With deep faith, vow, and nianfo, one can definitely attain rebirth in the Pure Land. If one nianfo diligently with deep faith and vow, one can know his time of rebirth in advance, sometimes much in advance. For instance, if one is extremely diligent in their nianfo practice, they can know their time of rebirth now, even if their rebirth is like 50 or 60 years down the track. Or for some people, they know their time of rebirth a few months before, or others a few days before, or even like a few hours before. So all is possible. Most importantly, if you nianfo with deep faith and vow, you don't need to worry about the what-if situations. Remember, Amitabha Buddha will help us to be mindful of him at the time of death. So I hope this helps. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Amitabhaya.